And he would always just hang around with all his friends, and he would like rig elections so him and his friends could be in charge. It was wild. Wow. Yeah. This right here is 52 Chambers Street. This might be the most monumental grift in New York City history. It was orchestrated by one man, a native New Yorker, a real estate mogul, a man of the people, a champion of the working class, obsessed with voter fraud and immigration, one of the most corrupt politicians the Gilded Age has ever seen. We're talking about William M. Tweed. On today's episode of Cody Drinks History, we're gonna go through this man's life in New York City, and maybe have a few drinks along the way.
He's drinking the beers, he's drinking a stout. He's drinking some people before they kick him out. He's drinking his memories, he's drinking his fears. It's Cody Drinks History, he's drinking all the beers.
Every great politician has their humble beginnings. And for William Megger Tweed, it began right there on the corner of Dover and Pearl Street, which is now the Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses. So at the time, this area was a pretty nice middle-class area. Tweed grew up as a son of a chair maker, and he had a bunch of weird 19th century jobs when he was growing up. He was a brush maker, a saddler, a bookkeeper. I don't know what any of those jobs are, but he found his true calling in 1848. He joined a volunteer firefighting company. And you might think, oh, this guy's not so bad. He joined a volunteer firefighting company. You couldn't be more wrong. Come on, let's go. You mind if I sit up front? Have you ever heard of this guy called Boss Tweed? We're doing a program about him today. So, do you drink? This guy was a big fan. Guys, this is 269 Henry Street, the site of the old firehouse. So basically, this building here is from 1888. It's not the original one that Tweed was at. So anyway, in 1848, Tweed and his boys, they start a volunteer firefighting company. Now, in the 19th century, they weren't actually really fighting any fires. It was just an excuse for like boys to hang out, get drunk, and fucking fight each other. They did very little firefighting at all. So in the movie Gangs of New York, there's a great depiction of this. This literally would happen. These firefighting companies would be like rivals with each other, and there'd be like a fire, so they'd all race to get to the fire. Whatever person was getting there first, they'd be like, oh, fuck no, we gotta stop them. So these firefighting companies would fist fight each other in the street.
Give those fiery boys help!
So like people would be like in the house like, yeah, help me. And people would just swing and fist fight. And Boss Tweed, so he started one with his boys. He started a fire company with his boys. It was called the Engine Number 6, the Big Six. They had this cool ass Bengal logo, and they just hang out, fucking drink, hang out, just try to fuck chicks and fight dudes. No fighting fires. Tweed, he kind of got a reputation as a bit of a fighter. He used to walk around with his big fucking axe. Never fighting any fires. Once again, I want to make that entirely clear. So then some of the boys, some of the politicians, they were like, hey, this guy's pretty cool. And they were like, you should run for freaking alderman. And he was like, okay. Thus began his political career. You know, they send me all around the city for this job, and you learn a few things. I'm working on this concept of a true Yahoo. You know, Yahoo? Like, look at this Yahoo. You know, like, Yahoo coming up right now, actually. And like, and that's a Yahoo. You know, it's just like, what are you doing? What are these people? They're freaking Yahoos. You guys ever heard of Jerkmate? I see these ads like all the time, but basically like, it's like a webcam service for these ladies. And that's the thing about Tweed, right? Is like, he was like a man of the people. Everybody loved him. Well, the people who didn't know what he was actually doing, you know? I mean, he was like a thief and he was stealing from the people, but he was like so popular. He used to walk around the Lower East Side and give out like whiskey and cigarettes to people. And like, he was just a champion of the working class. I mean, it's pretty crazy. I mean, you know, nobody, in the moment when a politician's super corrupt, They're loved by a lot of people, and you don't see till after the fact how horrible they were, how evil they were doing, you know, all the shit they were doing, you know? Crazy. So, the old county courthouse. Boss Tweed, he'd grown his political power. He started buying up everything in the city, and he started getting all his boys elected. And you know what he figured out? Oh, the town needs a new courthouse. He's got to be the man to build it. So, he says, oh, let me buy this quarry over in Sheffield, Massachusetts. He buys an entire quarry. And then when the city goes to Tweed and they're like, oh man, we want to build this courthouse, he's like, oh, perfect. I got all this quarry in Sheffield, Massachusetts, which built these. So he made money off of all the quarry. Let's get everything out of the way. This building, the old county courthouse in New York, which is still in use today, the budget for it in 1861 was $250,000. That's a lot of money then. They spent $350,000 alone on just the carpet. They embezzled money through this entire thing. They were charging hundreds and thousands of dollars for chairs, tables, napkins, silverware. There's a guy who worked here, apparently, and he was putting in window screws for 2 days. He made $2 million in 1861. Adjusted for inflation, that's absurd. So yeah, they basically embezzled all the money through this place. And then some people started looking into it, and they were like, oh, this is kind of weird. And then after a couple of days, it just went away, because that's how Boss Tweed works. Pretty crazy. Oh, so this is bar 169, or 169. This has been a bar for a very long time. First opened in 1916, serving sailors and soldiers coming home from the war, and just Chinatown residents in general. Then during Prohibition, it was a speakeasy. You know, in the 20s and 30s, they were sneaking around drinking. And now I just know it for the leopard print pool table in the back. And this is a bourbon mint lemonade made by one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, for real. Like, get a shot of that. Get a shot of the bartender.
That's weird.
All right, yahoos, we made it this far. But every great politician must meet their end. It's 1875, 76. Boss Tweed, he's been at the height of his power, and one of his cronies, this guy, he's disgruntled, and he walks right into this office, and he hands the newspaper a stack of files, the proof of the embezzlement, and all of a sudden, Boss Tweed goes to jail. Right behind me. This playground used to be a prison, Ludlow Street Jail. So, Boss Tweed, he was a really rich guy, so he bailed himself out immediately. And then he was like, oh, I don't need to go to jail. They arrested him again for more scandals. But one day, he had the brilliant idea. He was gonna escape. So he left, he went over to New Jersey, and then he hopped on a boat, went to Cuba, and then by the time he got to Cuba, everybody realized he was gone. So then he decides, well, I'm already in Cuba, I'm gonna go to Spain. And so the Spanish police recognize him immediately. He gets arrested and extradited back to the United States. This time, they sent him to Blackwell Island, modern-day Roosevelt Island, and then they sent him back here to the Ludlow jail to face charges. Out of the 220 counts stacked against him, he was convicted of 204. So once he was convicted, he naturally did the thing where he gave everybody else up. He gave everybody else up, and then after like another 2 months, he died of pneumonia. Right here, behind me, in the Ludlow Street Jail. You hate to see it. So in today's Alcoholic of the Week, we have Irish immigrants to America, the entire group. So basically, how does that relate to Boss Tweed? Boss Tweed himself didn't really drink that much. I don't know what that's like, sounds like a waste of time. He preferred to stay sharp or whatever. But anyway, him and all his boys liked winning elections. They believe in democracy, right? So they would run over here to this place, McSorley's Ale House, and they'd round up a few boys, buy a couple rounds, they get a bunch of Irish immigrants together, and then they take them to the various voting polls all around the city and have these guys vote 1, 2, 3, 12 times. The same guy voting 12 times, all for Tammany Hall. And Tammany Hall was this political machine of the Democratic Party in New York City. Tweed used to have his guys and himself. He would wait at the docks or in Irish neighborhoods like this used to be and give them coal for their fires, give them food. In exchange, they'd vote Tammany. So to all the Irish immigrants in America, thanks for taking me here. And cheers, let's go get a drink. McSorley's. So this is the interior of McSorley's, and nothing has been taken off the wall since 1910. Everything on the wall here has not been allowed to be taken down since 1910. They didn't even admit women into this bar until 1970. I mean, it's really unbelievable to think about. This is one of the oldest operating bars in New York City, established in 1854. Harry Houdini's handcuffs are on the wall. There's a wanted poster for John Wick's booth. Abraham Lincoln used to drink here. I mean, Boss Tweed himself walked by this bar many times. This is a New York City institution. And when you come here, there's only two options: dark beer or light beer. I prefer the dark myself. And to Irish immigrants, cheers.